Hi guys, so in today's class we will be discussing the theory of demand or what is demand basically. And before we discuss demand, let's discuss what is market. Market is a place where buyers of the good and sellers of the good or the producers of the good interact with each other and they reach a price and they reach a quantity which will be bought, which will be sold at a certain price. So after discussing that market is a place where buyers and sellers will be interacting with each other in order to um, reach an agreement about the price and what quantity will be bought, what quantity will be sold. Then we have to know that how the consumers will be buying the good at a certain price. This is what demand is all about. What is demand? So for any consumer to have an effective demand for us for a good, they need to have two things. One is that they should be willing, there should be willingness and ability. What does these two terms refer to? Willingness refers to that the consumer is willing to buy the good. Like for instance, if I want to or if I am willing to buy a good, then I will demand the good for in the market. And ability refers to whether you have the purchasing power, whether you have the money, whether you have the means, whether you have the income to buy the good. If these two things are present, if the consumer is willing and if the consumer is able, then you have the effective demand. So, for any consumer, what is demand? Demand refers to the willingness and ability of the consumer to buy a good at certain price, at certain price, holding all other things constant. So all the other factors, all the other variations are held constant. So now we reach the definition of demand. What is the definition of demand? Demand refers to demand refers to the willingness and ability of the consumer to buy a good or a service to pay a given price for a product ceteris paribus. So this is the definition of demand. Demand refers to the willingness and ability, which means that you are willing to buy the product and you have the ability, you have the financial means to buy the goods at a given price. Ceteris paribus. What is ceteris paribus, guys? Ceteris paribus is a Greek terminology. It's a Greek term, which means holding all other things constant, all other factors, holding all other things or all other factors that can affect the demand. Like, for instance, the income of the consumers, the seasonal variation in the demand, the impact of climate change, the impact of fashion, the impact of advertisement, all those things are held constant. And we are just interested in how the consumers are demanding the good at certain price, at a given price, what quantity will be demanded by the producers, uh, which is measured through their willingness and ability. Like, if they are willing and able to buy the product at a given price, then it will be effective demand. So, guys, with this assumption of holding all of the things constant, we identify the relationship between price and what quantity the consumers will be willing and able to consume, to buy at certain prices, and the relationship that exists between price, the relationship between price and quantity demanded is negative or inverse. What does that mean? The relationship is negative, or the relationship between price and quantity demanded is inverse, which means that as the price increases, as the price of the product increases, consumers will demand less quantity. The quantity demanded will fall. And if the price falls, the quantity demanded by the consumers will rise. This is called the inverse relationship, or this is called the law of demand. So the law of demand states that there exists an inverse relationship between price and the quantity demanded. What is quantity demanded? Quantity demanded is the amount of product demanded at each price level. If the price increases, the consumers will be demanding less quantity because their ability to buy the good will fall, it will diminish. And if the price falls, the quantity demanded will increase because the ability of the consumers to demand the good will increase. And with this inverse relationship, we have a downward sloping demand curve. The demand curve is like this. So we have price on the y-axis and quantity demanded on the x-axis. So this relationship is portrayed here. So when the price is P naught, quantity demanded is Q naught, and if the price falls to P1, more quantity will be demanded by the consumers. The quantity demanded will increase to Q1. We will move from point A to point B on the demand curve, which is G naught, if there is a fall in the prices.